Hey guys, so basically, since I started this channel, I've had a lot of people reach out to me that they're in the same situation, they're homeless, or they're about to be homeless, and what kind of advice I could give. Um, Even prior to you know, my homelessness now, I've always had a go bag or something like that, a shit hit the fan kind of bag, something to prepare for any eventuality, like. You know, uh, shit hit the fan scenario, or I just needed to get out, get away. It's always been my get out of jail free card. It's been my if life just got too hard, or break up with a girl, or just whatever. The job just ended up really sucking a lot more, and finances were terrible. Whatever. It ended up being depression last time that really caused it, but. Um, yeah, how do you prepare for being homeless? That's the key. Um, so this video is about uh, how to prepare for homelessness. I mean, if you have the option, let's say you got a couple $100 or something like that, um, going into it, it's obviously better to be prepared. And in a lot of ways, it's preparing for a long distance hike or something like that. But there are some intangibles that it's important to know about. Um, so that's what this video is going to be about: is how to preparing to be homeless, which is kind of messed up. Obviously, you don't necessarily need this video to be homeless. Anybody can be homeless. You just, um, you know, you stop paying rent. Get rid of your car. I mean, obviously, if you can have a car and be homeless, you don't really need this video. Um, and that's a different lifestyle altogether. But I found that there are certain things that I've kept in my go bag, things I've over time kind of perfected, and things that make life easier a little bit if you have them. Um, and it also depends on the time of year. If it's summer, there's a different, there's some differences in the gear I would choose than for winter. But anyway, so here's some just kind of a listing out. First of all, you want a backpack, a street backpack, large, something with little pockets on the side, so you can put drinks in. Something that's very uh, I just forgot what the word was. Something that's going to be just larger to carry everything that you're going to need to carry around all the time. A tent. Um, you might be tempted to get a one-person tent. Just take that out of your mind and you get a two-person, three-person tent. The reason is like I'm in my tent right now. I initially started out with a one-person tent that I had just because it was the cheapest. Um, but honestly, you're going to keep all your gear inside your tent when you leave your tent to go out and about, maybe to the library or whatever. The tent is holding your stuff. It's also going to keep rodents away. I've got bins, which really help, uh, you know, for just keeping everything smelling okay, odor control, but also I've got a food bin that keeps the animals away. Um, you're going to want a tarp. Rain flies on tents suck. They're not long term. Um, so a tarp is important. And don't get like one of these fancy camouflage tarps. They are known to turn blue. They get, even with a minimal amount of light, they fade out and turn blue, bright blue. And so that's not going to work for you. Paracord to help tie down your tarp, a camping pad, um, a sleeping bag, uh, dry bags. Dry bags. I keep everything in dry bags inside my backpack. So if it rains, like I don't really have to worry about anything. I mean, the backpack might get wet or whatever, but I like to keep everything gets segregated into different areas, like toiletries, medicines, electronics. Sometimes I'll have clothes. Just different things. Uh, and get those Ziploc bags that have like a little lock on, like a not a lock, but like a slider on it. Get those, like the quart size. Those are good for keeping little things. As far as clothing, um, if you're just starting out being homeless and you want to prepare, uh, three pairs of clothes: the one you're wearing and two others. Underwear, shirts, uh, pants or shorts, or both, uh, a beanie, and a jacket. Now, if it's summertime, you may not need that. Down the road, you may, and I'll talk about that here in a little bit. As far as toiletries, um, a washcloth, not a towel. That's just, I mean, maybe you could do a towel, but a washcloth works just really well. Uh, Trail size shampoo, deodorant, scissors. For for me, they're clipping my my beard. Razors, nail clippers, antibacterial wipes. Just a little trail packs, trial size. I don't know if it's trail or trial. I've never looked closely. I guess it's trial size, but it could be trail size. Um, but for electronics, obviously you got your phone, um, but you want a few battery backups, two or three, or just one big monster of one would be good. Cords and plugs. Uh, let's see. Now your phone, it doesn't need to have a plan. Like you don't need to have a cellular service. Basically, I mean, obviously, if you're being homeless out further from the world, I guess that would be a thing. But for my style of homelessness, uh, I I don't have. Uh, I just use the Wi-Fi at the library, at Walmart, at Wendy's, McDonald's, just wherever I go, I use the Wi-Fi and use that. Um, and I use Google Voice as it gives me a phone number, and I think it's called VoIP, right? VoIP calls and texts on it, so that kind of works for me. I also have a free phone, but the free phone is just a piece of crap. And little, like, they started out like the Obama phone. They gave me like 15 gigs, which is why I got it. And just this last month, I looked and it's like, oh, they only give me 5 gigs, so they're trying to get rid of it, or I don't know what they're doing. Get some earphones. Um, I ended up getting some Bluetooth earphones eventually, just because the corded ones, they were, I don't know, there's a problem with my jack or whatever, my port, and I don't know if it gets dirt in there or something, or probably, but it ends up not working as well. And I have a watch. It's a digital crapola that freaks out on me every now and again, but you'll be surprised at how often you just want to know what time it is, for whatever reason, for a bus, and yes, you can look on your phone, but every time you take your phone out of sleep mode or whatever, it uses up some of the battery. Um, okay, so anyway, let's see, where are we at? Some other things you need. Um, Miscellaneous would be medications, vitamins, lip balm, and antacid like Tums, right? The thing is when you're like, yeah, you want ready to eat foods and stuff, but a lot of times you're getting foods that are, not good, not easy on your stomach. Um, just because, okay, well, I want something that's going to last for 2 or 3 days in my tent without needing, um, to be refrigerated or whatever, that it is good at room temperature. And so Tums is, and if you don't have Tums, you don't need Tums. You can, like, with EBT, you can buy baking soda and just take a pinch of it and put it in your mouth. I usually will put some water or whatever in my mouth and then take the pinch and throw that on top of the water and swallow it as fast as I can, and then take another swig of water. Uh, and that usually takes care of it. Baking soda is good for that. Um, as far as, sorry, I've got a list. I'm going down it. Tobacco. Now, if you have a lighter, obviously a lighter is very important. But if you're a smoker, right? It's also good if you want to have a camp stove or something like that. But and you can always, during the summertime here in the Pacific Northwest, you can, find a shorty on the ground and pick it up and smoke it, right? I prefer not to do that, not to rely on that. It's just stressful for me. I have a pipe. Um, I have a lighter. I also have a backup USB lighter. Basically, it plugs. It's a little. I don't know where it is right now, but it looks like a Zippo, but it's all plastic and stuff. And basically, in case I ever run out of the ability to use a lighter, or you know, I don't have any lighters or whatever, I can use a USB lighter. Uh, and the ability means I don't have any money to get any lighters, so I can just charge it at the library and I'll be able to smoke with it, right? And then a big bag of tobacco, it doesn't weigh, it's like it's a pound, I think, and it's just you know, that'll last me a month. Um, so a bag of tobacco is pretty important for me. Um, I have done, bought papers as well, but it's just, there's no point to smoke a pipe. It's easier. Things that couldn't hurt having a few extra carabiners, um, a bandana, a small med kit, antibacterial cream or something in it, and maybe band-aids. That couldn't hurt. I usually just don't use band-aids. I just use a napkin and wait till it dries and you're good to go. A hobo stove, maybe you want a little camp stove, that might work for you. I don't really need that. That's just too much work. A bicycle, that changes the distance. A lot of people that are homeless doing it kind of the way I am, sort of. But what they'll do is they'll have a bicycle and they will travel, 5 miles outside, 2 to 5 miles outside of town, and find a good camp spot that you're not going to be hounded or you have to worry about the city, and then you can just ride your bike into town. The only problem is, I guess the main problem there was water. Uh, I mean, you can still load up on water. I usually will get bottles, like 1 liter or 1.5 liter bottles. I'll have three of them, and I'll take them to the library with me and fill up there out of there. They've got like a dispenser type deal. Um, but a bicycle, is definitely an option for some. A gym, if you have a membership at a gym. Um, Last time I was homeless, I did that exclusively. Um, and you can always get. I think Planet Fitness has like a $10 or $15 deal, um, where you can do monthly for just that location, right? Um, and that works. I just, the thing is, I'm not a thin guy, right? And so I always feel weird going in there like after, you know, once going there once or twice a week, and I'm in like my boots and normally I have rain gear on, and yeah, you'll get like a little a lock or something, so you can use the lockers, you get a towel, you get you know whatever you need for taking a shower, and then I'll leave because I don't, after spending all day out and about, like I don't want to work out, you know um but I don't know. I've never been like confronted or anything. I just feel weird. And then you walk past all these guys and chicks that are like all working out and stuff, and they're all muscle bound. And I'm like looking at my body. It's just not fun for me. Another thing you might want to consider is like a USB fan. I got one of these USB fan, $5. Really, really helps with the heat for this time of year. There are things that play a part, that kind of insubstantials, but like a money card, such as a Walmart money card, Venmo, PayPal, Chime, or Cash App. I guess Cash App does. I don't know if they have a card with it, but having those, the thing is, um, a lot of those will require that to send you a card, like a debit type card, that send it to an address, and they won't send it to general delivery. So, uh, if you can go ahead and get that before you're homeless, just and usually that'll last a couple of years or whatever, and that allows you to receive money from whoever and be able to use it on your card right away. Um, a bus fare card, like a hop card. Um, for here it's the TriMet, um, mass transit, but it can be used in like in Vancouver, and then all of the Portland metro area. The prices change, but instead of carrying cash around for a bus fare, you can just tap it, put 30, $40 on it if you can. And it's just helpful. Now with your phone setup, you should have Google Voice on it because you just got Wi-Fi. You don't have cell service necessarily. You've got like a My Radar app to kind of check the weather. That's important. I check that pretty much every day, either for rain, for cold, snow, uh, that 100-degree freaking week that we had, which was freaking horrible. Just knowing when it's not going to be so hot. Google Maps, use that a lot because you can like type in like the address you want to go, pin it, and do directions, and then choose like the bus little icon. And for here in the entire area for Portland and Vancouver, it's real time. So you can find out when a bus is coming. You're going to want to have access to your EBT Edge, which is your EBT app. Your money card apps, throw those on there. And then just for sanity, downloaded music and games, offline games, things that you don't have to connect to the internet or whatever to play. Now, when applying for now that's pretty much all the stuff you need. Now, here next, I'm going to talk about like things that you may not know, uh, things to consider. So, when applying for EBT, you have to have not been working for 30 days. For food stamps, you need to have not been working for 30 days. Otherwise, you won't be able to get it. Um, and, they'll give you the card. Once you're approved, they'll give you the card in the office, and it usually takes a couple of hours, and you can start buying food. And there's no hot food. Like, you can't get any hot food. It's only, cold or, you know, stuff off the shelf, whatever, right? But you want to make sure that you have money or something for that 30 days before you apply for food stamps. Like if you got laid off or you quit or whatever, you need to be able to, you're going to be going to pantries or buying like, I don't know, canned food or whatever, Chef Boyardee, whatever you're going to be eating. Just make sure you have enough for that 30 days. Um, but like food pantries, if you're not sure, because the information is kind of up in the air with food pantries, um, like at the human services office, they can give you a packet that has all these different kinds of services. The problem is it's not updated very regularly, and so everybody thinks they're giving you this packet which has all this information, but a lot of these places have gone out of business, or some of them are only open on like Tuesdays between 5 and 6 or some crap like that. It's important to getting that pamphlet is a good starting point. um, Honestly, you can just type in food pantry on your app and then just kind of check out the reviews, check stuff like that. Google Maps and figure it out. But anyway, um, now you can also contact a free clinic if you need services. A lot of them, like the one I looked at nearby, which is about 2 miles away, I called them up. I had a lot of anxiety regarding that, so I called them up, and they said, "Well, hey, we're not accepting new patients, and but even if you were a patient, the closest we could get you in was a month later." But they did help me. I guess they did like a health something finder.com or whatever. It was this service that over the phone they helped me out, and I was able to get free medical benefits. So I haven't taken advantage of that yet. I just got that yesterday, general delivery uh, at the post office. Um, but we'll see how that goes. Maybe that'll help out with my anemia, my aches and pains, my depression. I don't know. We'll see. Um, when you do become homeless, or even when you're preparing for it, you can scout out different areas. And what you do is you go on Google Maps, and I have a video about this, finding a good stealth camper or something like that. I forgot what I called it. But what you can do is you can go online, do the satellite view on Google Maps, and kind of zoom in on places. And what you're looking for is you're looking for a place that's close by. I consider, you don't want any like barking dogs. You don't want any like cougars or pumas or or bears nearby. I mean, you know, but you want something elevated. There's a lot of things to consider when choosing a camp spot. But when what you're looking for online is a good spot, and then you mark it on your map, or and then you go out and check it out. Is it a good spot? Is it easy to get into? Do I have to go across an empty field where people are going to be watching me? Is it going to draw attention? Can I easily get in there? And then is it, you know, reasonable? There's no, I don't know. There's a lot of things to consider. Like I said, I did a video about it, but basically, you're gonna there's a trifecta almost, right? Like you want to make sure there's a grocery store nearby, a gym, a pantry, potentially a pantry, close to a bus route, but I guess mainly close to a library, close enough, right? You want to be able to walk to the library. The library is going to be the place where you load up on water. Most of the ones I've seen, they have those water dispensers, uh, and they have places where outlets everywhere where you can plug in your stuff. They have computers. Sometimes you have to show an ID, but most of the time now they just give you a little piece of paper. You type in the code, and it gives you like an hour or so. Um, but library is important. Um, if you can, now, um, you want to make preparations for winter time. It depends on when you're going to be homeless. Like if it's June or July and you're going to be homeless, like, you're not really thinking that far ahead. Um, I've always carried a beanie, something to cover my head, and a hoodie as my, I can use the hoodie as my pillow, and the beanie is just good in case it gets, and having thick tent socks. I use like the socks I wear out and about is are really just thinner or whatever, but I have a pair of tent socks that I use only for my tent, and so that if I'm getting cold or whatever, I can put, or it's going to be a cold night, it might be hot overall, and then suddenly we have a 40-degree night. I mean, I have a sleeping bag and everything, but like I'll put on my tent socks, I'll put on my hoodie and my beanie, and I'm nice and toasty. um, I know it's summertime, and talking about that seems stupid, but you can get when you're buying a sleeping bag, get a lower degree one instead of getting the 40-degree one, which is pretty much standard. It's not necessarily comfort level 40-degree, but it's just something to keep you somewhat warmer when it's colder. Um, get like I have when I got this bag here, it was still summertime. It's one bag, and it's a 20 or 30-degree bag, because I can just kind of partially put it over me or whatever to stay cool enough. But I like having something that's going to be kind of longer term. Now, what you can do, what a lot of people do, a lot of homeless people do, is they'll take like a 40-degree bag or a 50-degree bag and get a couple of them, you know, just because they're cheaper, like 10, $15 sometimes. And then you can just load them up one on top of the other. I don't know what kind of rating happens after that. Um, like when you take a 40-degree bag and a 40-degree bag, does that, I don't know. But prepare for that if you can. Also, a thick camping mat or pad, right? Like you can get ones that are like very small. Like I actually was able to get memory foam, right? Like um, for the winter, like during the summer, I just had like a regular thin half-inch foam camping pad. But as the winter came on, I was able I got a donation, and I was able to take a standard size memory foam, 2-inch thick memory foam, and I cut it in half, and cut it in half lengthways and put it on top of each other. So I have a 4-inch thick. Now during this, and memory foam's good because it holds heat, right? But like, um, and right now it's not very pleasant because it's so hot out. But at the same time, during the winter, a thick mat. When I start off my walking from Virginia, I had an invoker pad, and that was significant, and it worked for me. It was very heavy and thick and big and stuff. But if you can prepare for it, if it's getting cooler, definitely you're going to want to get some sweaters, thick socks, gloves, a coat, a beanie, that sort of thing. But that's pretty much it. I mean, you can only prepare for so much. You can't prepare for everything. I guess the key is to maintain a good mental attitude. If you can get a job while you're homeless, um, that makes things a lot easier, right? Like, um, if you can get a job, then you don't have to worry about, you can get a gym membership, you can get hot food on a daily basis, you can do laundry. If you need something, you just buy it, right? Like, uh, simple stuff like that. But if you can't, then it's a little more challenging. You have to go to pantries and things like that to try to get cast off clothing and warm stuff and beg, borrow, however you can get a good pad and good sleeping bag and stuff. But anyway, um, whew, that's pretty much it. Being homeless is not fun. When I first became homeless this last time, when I first got here, I mean, granted, I was doing the walk across America thing, right? And then I ended up in Johnson City, and then I came here, and I was just like, uh, the first couple of months it was okay because I just needed the rest, right? I needed not to worry about anything. I needed not to be beholden to anybody. Like, if I was, I guess at that time when I was on the East Coast, I could have stayed with somebody and been like, but then, there's all these expectations where when you have depression like I do, uh, it's so difficult to get through the day, really. So getting here and I got here in, I think, August or September, uh, and so that was fine. But as soon as it started getting cold, really, it gets a little bit cold in October, but really in December is when it starts getting super cold. Um, and so I was just, I wasn't really prepared for it, and I still had the depression, so living in a tent, being homeless was my only solution at that point. But it was, uh, you know, if you can prepare for all the eventualities um, that you can, then preparing to be homeless is, you know, follow the tips in this video. Watch my other videos: how to do a hobo bath, how to find a camp spot, how to get free phone, all that good stuff. Um, anyway, I hope your road's a good one. And if you're homeless, I hope it doesn't suck for you. Peace out.